Hello everyone, my name is Edith Damasio and I work for North County Rape Crisis and Child Protection Center. We are here in our annual Human Trafficking Vigil. We are here to spread awareness through poems, art, education, and much more. We are here to advocate for those that have been silenced by human trafficking, and if you are in your healing journey, we are here for you too. Before we begin, I want to read a poem. I am a survivor. I cannot be defined by a situation. I am no victim of circumstance. I am more powerful than that. I am not imprisoned by an opinion, nor am I chained to painful beliefs, memories, or identities. I am so much bigger than any of that. I am not broken, and I am not hardened into a stone. The places where I've been cracked apart have been mended by gold. I am now stronger than I ever thought I could be, and more beautiful than before. I have gone further than I ever thought I can go. I am still loving after all I have been through, because it's how I choose to be. I find fortitude in my vulnerability, through there's no way to erase the terror I've seen. There's still love to give and joy to receive. How I live my life now is my responsibility. All of this because I am a survivor, not a victim. Anonymous. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our Executive Director, Ann McCarthy.
Hi everyone, I'm Ann McCarty, Executive Director of the North County Rape Crisis and Child Protection Center. Human Trafficking Awareness Month is a key time for each of us as individuals to continue the process of educating ourselves about human trafficking. We must continue to challenge ourselves to learn to spot the signs of trafficking, and above all, we must be active participants in reporting incidents that just don't seem right. In our community, we spend a lot of time talking to youth about trusting their gut, listening to that uh-oh feeling, and reporting when something isn't right. The same holds true for adults. In Santa Barbara County, we are fortunate to have a robust human trafficking task force comprised of many helping agencies, including members of law enforcement, Homeland Security, many helping organizations, child welfare services, individuals from the medical field, that all work tirelessly to end human trafficking in the communities we serve. While the end goal is to stop the perpetration of this crime against the most vulnerable citizens, we also have a duty to educate and to continue to have this topic at the forefront of all of our prevention efforts. Human trafficking is slavery, and it will not be tolerated. It takes aim at a person's dignity, and it knows no boundaries. Our goal is simple in this community: end this evil, support victims and survivors, and hold traffickers accountable. As an agency that works with many others, we pledge to continue our work to educate our community and support victims and survivors. Today, we hope to make the voices of many louder than they've ever been before. And while we'd love to be holding this vigil that honors those that have had the courage to come forward and those yet to come in real time, in person, we know that that day will come. But we thank you for joining us in this virtual world, for helping us and supporting us as we work to amplify the voices of many. We do indeed appreciate you more than you know, and we thank you.
These are some statistics for the Santa Barbara County. What is trafficking? The trade of humans for forced labor or sexual slavery. 50% are kids, 80% are girls, and 95% are Santa Barbara County residents. There have been 173 active investigations, 176 survivors, 90% U.S. citizen, 90% were female, 31% were 17 years or younger, 32% were from 18 to 24 years, 43% of them were Santa Barbara County residents. 91% of the case were sex trafficking. 64 human traffickers were identified. 95% of them were male. 51 were from Santa Barbara County. There were 88 buyers identified. 92% of the buyers were from Santa Barbara County. Buying a teen for sex is not prostitution, it's child rape. Human trafficking is through force, fraud, or coercion. It's known as a modern day slavery.
I was lured into trafficking by a man who said he was a modeling agent. I met him at a popular hangout where all the people from my school went, and he came up to me on the dance floor and he told me I was beautiful, and he told me he was a modeling agent and that he wanted to start my modeling career. He set up a photo shoot for that very next weekend. They had a rack of clothing and a rack of accessories, and we were trying things on, and it was a fun time. About 3 days later, I got a phone call from the agent. You are already booked for your first paid gig. And he told me what the gig was. It was a music video. And I told him, I'm like, I don't really want to do music videos. I was thinking more like print modeling or runway or something. But he told me, well, you have to start somewhere. And then he told me about some other models who had started out in music videos, and he told me to just try it out. And then he told me who the artist was, and it was a major rapper at the time. He had just won a Grammy that year. And so I was like, okay, I'll do the video. So I went to do the video that next weekend, and it was glamorous. It was fun. It was just like the photo shoot, but except this time there were celebrities there, and it seemed like a really fun environment. So I did the music video, and after about 6 hours on set, the agent came and told me I did a wonderful job, and he asked me to fill out a W-9. I filled out everything it asked for, and I handed it to the agent, didn't even think twice about it, and then I went home that day. Then about another week passed, and I got another phone call, and it was the agent. And he said, Rachel, you are blowing up. They want you to audition for a major magazine in New York. Are you ready? I said, yeah, I'm ready. Never been to New York before. Yeah, I want to do it. And he says, okay, good. Do you have about $400 for the flight and hotel? And I'm like, no, I don't have $400 lying around. But, I think I can borrow it. Let me call my parents real quick. And before I could hang up, he said, no, actually, it's probably going to be more like $800 because by the time you get there, you'll need taxis and you want your hair and makeup done. So it's probably going to be more like $800. And I got pretty disappointed because I knew my parents weren't going to give me $800 to go on some New York modeling audition. So he said, well, you can do what my other models do to raise money for your modeling career, which is become an exotic dancer. And I'm like, what? A stripper? No, I will not be a stripper. That's not me. He said, well, that's how a lot of models got their start. And stripping is not really a big deal. Just go try it out. And, you might like it. It's just dancing and getting paid to dance. And so he convinced me to do that. And so I did that for about a week. And I had made enough money to go to New York, plus some more. And I called him back, and I told him the good news that I was ready to go to New York. And he said, good, we'll start booking that trip. But in the meantime, I want you to come out to a casting with me tonight. And so I went to the casting that night, and from right when I got in the car, something was a little bit different. We were driving in the car. Another one of his models was in the front seat with him. And something so small and minor happened, but he just like switched and started hitting her and yelling at her and cursing at her, and he was being very abusive. And I was sitting in the back seat, and I just remember being really scared. And the next day I called him and I tried to, say, it was so nice knowing you. Thanks, but no thanks for this modeling thing. I'm just going to go back to focusing on school. And he told me, bitch, I own you. You're going to do what I tell you to do or somebody's going to get hurt. And then he read off my parents' home address. And he told me I better go to work tonight. And if he didn't see me there would be problems. Didn't know what to do. Didn't know, should I call the police? This guy kind of just threatened me, but people make threats all the time. Is this something they're going to respond to? I didn't know what to do, so I just decided to stay on his good side, not make him mad. And I decided to go to work at the strip club that night. And that night was the first night that I ended up being forced into trafficking. Told me where to go and forced me to have sex with one of the buyers from inside the strip club. And that lasted for months. I was trafficked from the strip club. I was trafficked on music video sets, trafficked out of a lot of entertainment industry parties, hotel rooms. He was a modeling agent, and he was very well known and very successful, but he was also an escort agent. If I could go back and do things differently, I would have gone and gotten help a lot sooner. As soon as I knew I was in trouble, as soon as I knew this person was dangerous, as soon as I knew that I was in over my head. But I let the fear and the shame and the guilt keep me silent. Thinking back on it, there were definitely some signs that I missed. And if I could go back in time or warn younger women or men who are aspiring models, I would share some of these signs. First sign is gifts. Somebody, a stranger, offering you something for nothing, that should always raise an eyebrow. The bigger sign after that was when this guy wouldn't take no for an answer. And he wasn't forceful or mean about it at first. It was, this is a great opportunity. I see so much potential in you. Trust me, you should really do this. But he just wouldn't take no for an answer. He was very persistent. Another warning sign that I missed along the way was he slowly was trying to change my mind about sexuality, and he would say things like, oh, you have such nice legs, you should show those more. Or when he convinced me to become a stripper, the way that he took me from, oh no, I would never do that, to, okay, I'll try it. And it was more manipulative than forceful. When you go from being a person to being a product that can be bought at a price, like you're putting a price tag on yourself, something shifts where you no longer are valued or respected for your mind, for what you think, for how you feel. None of that matters. Now you're just a product. Society is telling young women that their value is based on how you look, or that getting money for sex is empowering, and a lot of these messages that we're hearing in the media, and it's lies. Young women shouldn't look at themselves as expensive. We are priceless treasures with no price tag. And I wish that I would have known that before I allowed these influences to first talk me into becoming a stripper, which led to being trafficked against my will. The process of getting back to Rachel, not who I had become, this product, this stripper, this model, that process was what made me the happiest, of discovering and getting back to who I am. I am a nerd who likes to read books, a lot of books. I like to listen to music and lip sing in the mirror. A lot of those things that had kind of died because I was in this horrible situation, I just started doing those things again. Um, and that was when I really started to see that there truly is hope for redemption, to be myself again, the best me.
Little girl lost in an unknown world. She used to laugh, play, and twirl. She had a brother and a mom and a dad. She had toys and a dog and a cat. She now cries alone in the dark because no matter how much she says no, it won't stop. Her innocence is taken without a choice. She feels broken and without a voice. She feels violated and hated. She feels unworthy. Little girl, I know you are hurting. With the little hope you have, take my hand, because together we will take a stand. You are not alone, there are many more, but together we will win this. Because unlike them, we have a soul. They are cruel and cold, heart is a black hole. We are taught to do as we are told, but after today, we will take no more. We will unite and fight, we will try and try. Not a day goes by that this goes unrecognized. Traffickers don't specify, they take girls or guys. So I ask you to be alert so that our babies don't have to deal with this kind of hurt, because this little girl could have been you. We don't know what people have been through. Could happen to you or a friend. Let's just fight this united till the end.
It happened to me 5 years ago. My parents were divorcing and things at school and with friends weren't too good. I felt like the world was falling down around me. That's when I met someone online. We would chat about everything in my life. I finally had someone to take my side and see things my way. I had someone who put me first. No matter how much I thought we could trust each other, I knew better than to meet in person with someone I had met on the internet. But one day, when school was dismissed early, there was someone waiting for me at my front door. I never thought I'd find myself in this situation. I learned the hard way that no matter who you think you're talking to online, there are people out there looking to hurt you. It doesn't matter if they're male or female, or if they look a little rough around the edges, or even if they're the most beautiful person. These people exist, online and in the real world.
It happened to me too. I was 14 and someone online sent me a private message. I shouldn't have responded, but I messaged back and 7 days later, agreed to be picked up outside of my house at midnight. I was taken to another house and what happened there was terrifying. I'll remember it for the rest of my life. I felt numb and powerless and didn't know what to do. I was too afraid to tell my parents and ashamed of what everyone would think of me. But hiding it was a mistake. I saw the car that I was taking and driving around my neighborhood all summer long. Was I being targeted again, or was someone else being victimized? I finally decided to tell someone.
I have to live with the decision I made to trust someone I met on the internet.
But the important thing is that I told someone. I'm not a victim, but a survivor.
As a child, I don't really remember hugs and loves. I don't remember being mommy's little princess or daddy's little girl. I really don't remember playing house or playing with dolls or playing outside, having a childhood really at all. I do remember being hit a lot and watching my mom be hit and growing up thinking that that was okay. So for me, my grooming period started at home, thinking that men hit women. My mom always told me my dad hit her because he loved her, so I grew up thinking men hit women because they loved them. Or remembering being touched by some of my dad's friends and telling my mom and my dad and them telling me that they were my uncles and that they loved me. So I grew up thinking that I wasn't important enough to save and that men touched me because I was pretty or because that was just my life. I remember my mom and my dad always doing drugs. They both were drug addicts and people in and out of our lives. And my dad was a part of the Hells Angels group, so I just remember that fast life and drugs and violence and sex and abuse. By the age of 14, I was already sexually active. I was already venturing out, trying to find my own happiness, trying to fill that void that my parents left in my heart. So anything that gave me any sort of happiness, whether it was real or false, I gravitated towards it. men, women, school teachers, anything that gave me some sort of fulfillment. By the age of 14, my sister was just 18 months younger than me, and she was done with living in the life of abuse and watching my mom do drugs. So she took a pipe and a bag of drugs to our school counselor, and they raided our house, and my mom blamed everything on me. She said it's all Cody's, and because I was labeled a bad teen in and out of psych wards, a cutter, doing drugs, I didn't get the opportunity to go to my family's house or my grandparents. I went to a group home. And I was in the group home for about a year, and this girl befriended me, and she was amazing. I really felt like I belonged to someone, like I was accepted, and she looked like me, and she talked like me, and I told her everything that had happened to me as a child and everything that I wanted out of life. And our life up to that point was almost similar. We went through a lot of the same things, and living in a group home, I was beat up a lot. I was picked on, I was intimidated by the girls, and they always wanted to fight me, and the staff in the group home at that point really allowed it to happen, and I believe for their own entertainment. So prior to this girl, my friend, glamorizing running away, I had been beaten up. And she used that circumstance and that situation to glamorize running away. And anything at the age of 15 sounded better than living in a group home. And I said, okay. And she told me that we would get our nails done and have nice shoes like Jordans and Nikes, and that her boyfriend would take care of us and nobody would hurt me anymore. And I said, okay, let's do it. And I ran away, and everything she said happened. I got my nails done, I got my hair done, everyone was nice to me, I got an outfit. I had no idea that she was a recruiter for a pimp. I had no idea that her boyfriend was really a pimp. And about 2 weeks later, he approached me, and it was no longer my friend and her boyfriend, but my pimp and my wife-in-law. And if I didn't do what they wanted me to do, I would never go back to a group home or ever see my family. So that was the beginning of a life of trafficking for me. I lost 10 years of my life from 15 to 25 to exploitation. In the last 3 years, since I was rescued in 2011, I've had a lot of time to reflect on vulnerabilities and warning signs. Vulnerabilities that played a huge part in my being exploited, and a lot of warning signs that could have played in my part of telling somebody or saying no. A lot of the vulnerabilities that played a huge part in my exploitation was the lack of love, never feeling loved, never feeling wanted, never feeling accepted or needed, never feeling like I had anyone that I could count on, never feeling like I was good enough to be saved from anything that happened in my life up to the time I was exploited. I wish there was somebody in my life that educated me on warning signs. Someone that told me that if someone glamorized the life of running away, not to run. Someone that told me 1 out of every 3 youth that runs away will be recruited into the life within 48 hours. I did not know that, and maybe if I knew that, I wouldn't have ran away. Knowing that a girl, someone that looked like me, talked like me, went to my same school, and lived almost the same life as me, could recruit me into the life of trafficking. That it wasn't this big man that scared you, that kidnapped you, but a girl that looked like me. Knowing that I was vulnerable to being exploited just because I was taken away from my parents and put in the system. Or I was 20 times more likely to be exploited because I was molested as a child. There was no education in my life at 15, 16, 17, or even 18. Just the last 3 years has anyone even talked about human trafficking, exploitation, or CSET. I wish there was somebody in my life that helped me to see the warning signs. The last 3 years of my life, anyone would think would be great. And it has been great, but a lot of healing, a lot of growing. And I've spent the last 3 years of my life trying to figure out, what does Cody like? I couldn't dream big enough in the life for the life that I'm living today. I couldn't dream big enough for all the support that I have. So today, I'm really so much more than just a survivor. I'm a thriver. I'm someone who continues to push, fight, and strive every day to figure out what it is that I like. Cody. Do I like to ride roller coasters? Do I like to go hiking? Do I like chocolate cake or red velvet cake? And it seems so simple to do, but being someone else for 10 years has really clouded who I am, Cody. What gives me purpose today is being able to use my life and the things that have happened to me, help others get out of exploit. My message to the girls and boys that I work with today and the other girls and boys that are still out there is to never give up. If I would have given up in the life, I would not have been able to see how amazing I, Cody, am today. I would not be able to share my story to help somebody get out of it and to educate somebody who doesn't know about exploitation, CSEC, or human trafficking. My message is that our past does not define who we are. The things that have been done to us does not define who we are, and we are not what has been done to us. I love how today I'm so much more than a survivor, but I'm a thriver. I strive and I fight every day to become who I've always wanted to be in life. Today my life has purpose. I get to use what has been done to me to help so many girls and boys get out of the life and to educate those that don't really know too much about exploitation or CSEC or human trafficking happening right here in our own backyards. If I thought everybody in the world was ugly because so much ugly was done to me, I wouldn't have the support that I have today. I wouldn't have the friends that I have today. I wouldn't have true love in my life. Don't ever give up on people. Think about the people that have accepted you for who you are and loved on you right where you were. Those that answered your phone calls no matter what time it was. Those that never judged you. Those that inspired you and encouraged you and motivated you to become the best that you can be in life. Those are the people you need to surround yourself with. Never think you're less than anybody in the world, because that thought of being less than will keep you away from the people that will inspire you to become so much more in life. Surround yourself with people you want to become like. If I didn't surround myself with the women that I wanted to be like, I would not be the wonderful mom that I am today. I would not be the friend that I am today. I would not be who I am today.
Made a wrong turn once or twice, dug my way out, blood and fire, bad decisions, that's alright. Welcome to my silly life. Mistreated, misplaced, misunderstood, knowing it's all good. It didn't slow me down. There's so many